couple of months ago, I decided to purchase a wireless handheld microphone, and after carrying out online searches and comparing many makes and models of microphones, I came across this one, the k035 wireless microphone from a company called Fifine. I made a review video on it, and if you haven't already seen it, you can watch it by following the link on the screen. Just recently, I was approached by Fifine, and they asked if I would like to review one of their newest releases, a wireless lavalier type microphone with a wireless receiver designated by Fifine as the k037. I was more than happy to accept their offer on the basis of the quality I had seen from the k035. And now that I've received the microphone, I will be reviewing it in as much detail as possible in this video. Although Fifine have supplied the microphone free of charge, all the opinions and thoughts on this product contained in this review are mine alone. Fifine has had no direct input into the writing or recording of this review. In this review, I will be testing many aspects of the microphone, including recording sample audio from various distances from the receiver, and both inside and outside, to see how the microphone performs when the receiver is some distance away. Even though usually you would probably have the receiver very close by while filming, even if your camera is placed in the distance, I wanted to see how this unit performs if this is not the case. I will also be testing the microphone in various environments to establish its effectiveness, flexibility and durability. I should at this point explain that a fault did occur in the first unit I received, but with some extremely impressive customer services from Fifine, I received a replacement within 48 hours with no question, and I found the communication with Fifine to be exemplary. So let's get on with the review. So the first part of any review is the unboxing, so let's go ahead and get started on that. All Fifine devices come in very understated packaging, normally just a plain white box with the Fifine technology logo on the top. The k037 is no different, so let's open it up and see what we have inside. First of all, we have the user's guide, which gives you all the necessary information to get you up and running. And you also find a list of all the available frequencies that can be used to pair the microphone with the receiver. As well as that, you will find a greetings card directing you to Fifine's website, where you can find instructions on video and some frequently asked questions for some of the products available from Fifine, and you can look through their online store here as well. Removing the protective foam reveals the transmitter, and we get our first look at the actual microphone capsule. So we can go ahead and remove the transmitter and the foam around the microphone. Now we see the receiver and the supply batteries, so we'll remove them from the packaging as well. Keep the packaging, as it's more than sufficient to store your microphone safely in between uses. The microphone comes with batteries included, but we will go through putting them in later on. So let's take a closer look at the transmitter first. It comes in a lightweight plastic housing with a very strong metal wire belt hook. And now if we move to the front, we can see an LCD screen with a button below it. This is for changing the frequency if you're having problems when it comes to pairing it with the receiver. The bottom half is the battery compartment, which opens up when you gently pull down on the retaining clip. You need two AA batteries to power this unit, and you will find them included in the pack. On the top of the unit, we have a flexible antenna that is 3.5 inches long. Even though it does flex, it's probably wise to avoid bending it too much when the unit is actually being used, to avoid unnecessary wear and tear or even damage to the unit itself. Next to that is a small LED power indicator, and in the center a power switch. And finally, on the right hand side, you can see the proprietary connector for the microphone jack. And that's all there is on the transmitter. So it's a fairly simple design, which makes it very easy and comfortable to use. We can put that to one side for the moment and look at the receiver. Again, it has a lightweight plastic housing with a 6.3mm audio jack protruding from the base. On one side is the battery compartment, and you will need two AAA batteries. Again, these are supplied in the pack. And on the other side is an on-off switch, which has an LED indicator light next to it. And finally above that is a retractable antenna to help maintain the connection to the transmitter. The receiver is simply designed as well and is very much plug in and go. And finally we have the lavalier microphone unit. It comes with a windsock and a clip for fitting it to your clothing. The clip is removable, as is the windsock, So if you're outside, you can actually tape it to your chest underneath your shirt to help avoid any pickup of ambient sounds and to clear up the voice pickup if it's too windy for the windsock to be completely effective. With both of these removed, we can see the actual microphone element is incredibly small. As well as the audio pickup in the top, it has 3 further pickups on either side of the body. It has a 1 meter cable running from the microphone to the connector, which is a proprietary designed metal connector that fits into the transmitter. The clip fitted to the microphone is a crocodile type design and can be fitted to the microphone in a left or right facing configuration, simply by pushing the clip fitting onto the base of the microphone housing. So now we can move on to setting up the unit. So now we've looked at all the individual parts that come with the k037 microphone, let's put it all together. So first we have the receiver. We need to insert 2 AAA batteries, so we slide the cover up from the battery compartment and then flip it out. Slip in the batteries and close over the cover. If we go ahead and turn it on, the LED indicator light will come on and flash red. This alerts you to not only the fact that it's on and using battery power, but also that you don't have anything connected to the wireless receiver. Let's turn that off for now so we don't waste the battery power, and turn to the transmitter. Again, it needs batteries, so we can open up the battery compartment and insert 2 AA batteries into it and turn it on. You can see that the front LCD screen lights up orange and the power indicator light on the top glows, although it's very difficult to see. If we take a look at the LCD screen, it tells us the current frequency that we are using to connect to the receiver. And if we hit the front button underneath the LCD 3 times, the frequency will change by 0.5 and has a range from 672.5 to 684.5. Changing the frequency will sometimes help you when you're having difficulty in connecting to the receiver over certain distances. It should be noted that a line of sight will almost always help in maintaining a clear signal and thus maintaining a good connection, but the area you're in will also affect the transmitter's ability to connect due to any local interference. Fifine state in their literature that the system has a range of about 65 feet or 20 meters, so we'll test that out later. The final part of the setup is connecting the microphone to the transmitter. That's simple enough. Just plug the 3-pin connector into the top of the transmitter and you're ready to go. The transmitter end of the microphone cable has a little black button on the back, and you must depress that in order to remove the plug from the transmitter. Otherwise, you run the risk of damaging the connector. Always turn on the receiver first and we can see the flashing red LED. Now let's turn on the transmitter by depressing the power button for 2 seconds. With the frequency set to its lowest of 672.5, you can sit easily at your desk and use the microphone, but the whole point of a wireless microphone is that you aren't tied to your desk. So by increasing the frequency, you should be able to move further and further away from the receiver, as I'll demonstrate later on. Now that it's all connected and working, how do you capture the sound? Well, there are several ways you can connect the microphone receiver in order to record the input. Firstly, a mixer board like this one here. I use a Behringer 802 and it's simply a matter of plugging the receiver into one of the input sockets and feeding the input into the computer. You can also plug it straight into the PC by using a reducer adapter, taking the 6.35mm jack down to a 3.5mm jack like this. When you're outside and away from your PC and mixer board, you can use a digital voice capture device to record your audio on. And again, you may have to use an adapter to plug it in. I use an Everstar digital voice recorder for recording outside, and you'll see the results are somewhat amazing later on in the video. And on this particular model, it has a denoise function, so you clean up your audio as you're recording, which makes a lot of difference to the end results. If your camera has an audio in jack, you can even plug the receiver into that and record directly to your video. In addition to using this microphone for things like YouTube videos, you can also use it for live presentations by replacing the PC with a speaker system, as well as using it to record meetings and other live events. Right, so we can now go ahead and test the microphone. First of all, plug the receiver into the mixer board and then turn it on. The red light will flash showing it's powered on and working. Now I can fit the microphone to my shirt using the clip and place the transmitter onto my back pocket. With the transmitter in place, it can now be turned on and the light on the receiver will go green and you're ready to go. I'm talking to you through the k037 microphone. I've not edited it in any way, and what you're hearing is the audio in its rawest form. As you can hear, the audio is clear and audible, so we can now confirm that the quality up close to the receiver is fine, and the microphone is well fitting and looks quite professional. Now we can move on to testing the microphone with an indoor long range test. For that I'm going to step outside into the corridor, which is about 20 meters long. That is the distance that Fifine says is the optimal furthest distance from the receiver. Also, the corridor does have a significant echo in it, so it's a good opportunity to test the microphone in that sort of situation. Okay, we're now in the corridor, and there's a significant echo in here, so we're going to see if that affects the recording quality at all, or even the pickup. And we're at 20 meters, which is the optimal furthest distance that Fifine recommend to use this microphone. I've had no problems connecting to the receiver. I can see the green light from here. And I'm using the Everstar digital voice recorder to record the audio. There doesn't seem to be any interference because of the echo in the corridor. The signal seems to be stable and strong. So we're going to move on to the next test, which is the outdoor test, and we're going to move a little bit further away in order to really test the range and capabilities of this microphone. Okay, we've come outside and we're now at a distance of about 35 meters, and as you can see, the audio is still being picked up okay. I've upped the frequency on the transmitter and it's made the connection fine at this distance, and the audio should be just as clear as it was before. Just going to do a quick audio test up close to the receiver. We're about 5 meters away, so the pickup should be fine and the audio should come through fine as well. So now we've thoroughly tested the microphone, let's draw this video to a close by summing up my thoughts on the Fifine k037 lavalier microphone. It arrives in a sturdy box which can be used to store the microphone in between uses, but the packaging is pretty plain. But then again, Fifine make no real claims about their products. They let it speak for itself. So a plain box is fine. When you take the microphone out of the box, although there's no weight really to any of the components, you still get the feeling that they're sturdy and will be hard wearing. The only real concern is the wire leading from the microphone to the transmitter. It feels quite thick, but it would probably be easily damaged if pulled on too hard or nipped. But for everyday use, it probably won't find itself in too many dangerous situations, as it will be underneath clothing. The LCD screen on the transmitter is very clear, and you have no trouble seeing the frequency displayed, or the battery meter. One thing I would have liked to have seen is an LED like on the receiver to show connectivity, as it's hard to see the LED on the receiver in some situations, and it would be nice to see a green light on the transmitter as well. But I'm not an electronics expert, so I don't know if that would even be possible, but it would be helpful and should be something that Fifine should consider in the future. One of the best aspects of Fifine equipment is the ability to have 2 units running at the same time on separate receivers, with absolutely no interference, as you can set them to different frequencies. For instance, I could wear my k037 and whilst interviewing somebody, they could be talking into my k035, and with both units on the same mixer board, the inputs would become one track. The ability to choose from multiple input methods with the k037 is a must for any YouTuber, and allows a lot of freedom with the minimum of fuss, as you saw in the video. The quality remains the same whether you're inputting into a fixed mixer board or a more portable digital voice recorder. Unfortunately, I don't have the right audio in connector on my camera, so I was unable to test that method of capturing the audio, but I very much doubt there would be any loss of quality, judging by the testing I carried out. The quality is so high that I will undoubtedly be using the microphone to replace my condenser microphone in a lot of my videos, as it's sometimes difficult to maintain a good audio capture with a condenser microphone if you move from a single position. But with the lavalier microphone, it's always right there and moves with you. So let's close now with some scores. So for presentation, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 because it comes well packaged and well protected, but in a very plain box. For the looks of the equipment, it's definitely a 10. It looks good and feels good, and even though it's all black, it's something that isn't really supposed to be seen, so it doesn't need to be bright or multicolored. Usability scores a 9. It's easy to use and comes with good instructions, but having to press the button 3 times to change frequency is slightly tiresome. As for the audio quality, well, that's without a doubt scores 9.5 because it's not perfect, but show me a microphone that is perfect out of the box. But even its raw output is usable in most situations, and even if you're going to apply post-processing, the chances are it only need to be minimal. And finally, look at the price. It's $34.99 from Amazon, so it's low cost compared to other lavalier microphone systems, but probably performs on par with a few more expensive systems. So for the cost, I score it a 10. When we put all that together, it gives the Fifine k037 a final score of 8.9 out of 10. Certainly a high scoring product, and I have no problem in giving it my seal of approval. I would like to thank Fifine for presenting me with this opportunity to review one of their products, and I hope that you found it useful if you're in the market for a new lavalier microphone. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.